It's movie review again. Today no more girl anymore. Today we are going to talk about the movie Gomorrah. And the main actor of Gomorrah are Macro and Chiro, Robert and Toto. And the director of this movie is Matthew Garney in 2008.
This film is surrounding on the mafia group that does exist in Naples, Italy, which named Gomorrah, that has implement on organized crimes that reaches deep into the facet of citizen life in different aspects of crimes, such as illegal dumping of toxic waste, drug deals with trafficking, and even armed deals in a big amount. In this film, few main characters has tell us about the darkness of the mafia group that happened in Naples. Macro and Chiro are two young wannabe gangsters that work independently without joining any mafia group by opposing Gomorrah with many actions such as stealing Gomorrah arms and more. Robert that graduate and work in the waste management has working under his boss Franco, which always search for the place to dump all the toxic waste illegally. Toto, which is a delivery boy, always want to join a mafia group and begin his path of being a gangster and kill people. All these characters, with their own story, has described the true side of a mafia group that could control over Italy's society.
So, before we start to analyze Gomorrah, a mafia film, also known as gangster genre film, has few elements for us to study.
The first element is the presence of a central character that we identify by swapping usual patterns of the identification by connecting our feeling with the criminals in film. We always tend to follow the main character or the protagonist through the whole film by experiencing what he or she feel and action that they taken throughout the event and the conflicts of the film. Second element is the story working as a thick social context that show us an image of the culture along with its value. For example, in Gomorrah, Macro and Chiro wants to become a gangster by meeting Gomorrah heads, and even more criminals they did to show the chaos happened in Naples society, which many teenagers have been involved in mafia group and culture in mafia groups that shows in the story. The last element of the gangster genre film is the theme of a central character in gangster film operating in a well-established hierarchy system. To study more on this element, we can see that many mafia films have shows on the hierarchy system, whereby most of the subordinates will not try to deny the words of the boss, except for the main character or the protagonist that change the situation in a twist of the film. Gomorrah is a type of mafia film that different from other mafia films, especially when we take a look on the first element of gangster or mafia genre films. Director may not only focus on Macro and Chiro, but he also focus on other characters' life that step into the dangerous mafia world, such as Robert, that did not intend to work as an illegal dumping toxic waste person in charge, and Toto, that wants to join into the mafia, has realized the hardship he faced when his friend in mafia wants to kill his mother customers. Directors want to tell the audience in a different type of life that the main characters will face, which everything is controlled by the Gomorrah.
We can also see that the director has employed a hybrid genre in Gomorrah, this mafia genre film, which he used the documentary genre and the mafia genre and mixed them as a hybrid genre mafia film.
At the beginning of the film, director has used the documentary style, which is established shots to show how a mafia fights happen everywhere, which they even can fight in the indoors. In this part, we can see that this is the truth whereby a mafia group could do anything in any way in order to get the money or even increase their status in a group. When the film starts to proceed, we can see that the director has employed back on the gangster genre, but without too much of the scenes of the fighting between the mafia groups or internal arguments. Director has shows how the characters' life have been intersect with the mafia and shows the cruelness that a mafia could do and reflect the true side of a mafia group instead of the other mafia or gangster genre film that might be exaggerated in a proper manner in order to enhance the feeling of the nervous between the fights.
So, this is today's film review, Gomorrah. So, how? Want join us? Want join us or not?